You probably can't hear it, but there's a car alarm going off outside, and it perfectly fit with the music. It's the right tone, the right tempo. How strange. Hello! Hi, Kiro. Hi, Beth. Hi, Ragdoll. Hi, Plam. Prep food! No typing while hands touch raw take chicken. Good, fair. Hi, and welcome to, my drawing glove has exploded. It's been falling apart for years, but I just put it on, and it's not really a glove anymore. It's a piece of unelasticated rag that is dangling from my hand. I need a new one. Hi, how we doing? Let me put some music on. Time to get a new drawing glove, exactly. Or make one. Hi. I did try making one at the weekend, it didn't. Bit too tight. I should have actually measured like the circumference of my fingers at various points. That would have helped. Gonna have to crochet one. Oh, that is a point. Crochet's quite thick though, and it's summer. So I'll try fabric first. I've got a lot of spare fabric, don't worry about that. Yeah. Hi. Oh yeah, I have to rearrange Clip Studio so that you don't have to see all my tools and stuff. Because I had to move it all for the new tablet. Swoosh. Can you see my tools? No, good, that means I'm professional. Unless I do this, in which case you can see my tools. I used to have them over on the left-hand side of the screen, but when you have a bigger tablet, that's more space for your arm to travel. It got tiring. Crochet with really thin yarn. I'll be here forever. I guess I could use a massive hook. Anyway, hi. How are we doing? Are we having a good? I have a drawing glove your friend knit, and it's amazing. Yeah, lovely. Good stuff. It might be an idea actually just to crochet it with a massive hook. I have one hook I like. And I'm doing everything with this. It's not really how you're supposed to use tools, but whatever. The sky's on fire, well that's not ideal. My one stick, I like my stick. Yeah. Speaking of having one stick and beating dead horses with it, Doctor Who. Wildfire out west, wind blowing smoke over here. Oh, no. I did see a video of, in Canada of a train that was passing through a wildfire. It was quite intimidating. Very hazy, bad air quality, I can imagine, yes. Wear a mask if you have one with a respirator. Could help. But, yeah. For anyone who may not know what's going on here, we are in the process of very, very slowly drawing from memory all villains from Doctor Who that I have seen personally. And ranking them against one another. So last time we added Delgado Master, who is, along with Missy, the best. Also added Lil Troll Doll, one of his creations, for reasons I do not understand in his very first episode. We have established a tier down here in B tier, which is things that had potential but didn't really go anywhere. So like the monks, you got the silence, you got the boneless, you got the almost people, the rebel flesh or whatever they're called. The toy maker never really lived up to anything. The adipose could have been a good idea, but one. The ood were fairly thoroughly explored, to be fair. But I didn't like them enough for them to go higher. In C tier we added Omega, who does not have a body, so they are an Omega. The Cybermen, because whatever. And the Black Guardian. I don't know why they were there, but they are. We also added some crap things, like the Cybermats, the Smile Robots, whatever the hell they were called, and the Nestine Consciousness, and also the Reapers from Father's Day. But yeah, so we're going to do more. I have my random generator all revved up and ready to go. Here it is. I should vamp this up a little bit, or at the very least remake it in Godot, because it's a bit old branding. Needs more contrast. Who are these colours? I don't recognise them. Come on, Cassandra again. Maybe. No, it's the Roboforms. We all love the Roboforms, don't we? From the Christmas Invasion / Runaway Bride? Yeah, you do. God, so many stories to say about these. I will draw their most famous form. I haven't drawn anything today, by the way. Saw that episode, and you don't remember them. You almost certainly don't remember what they were called. I think they were also called pilot fish. They were basically just, we needed a threat, so we put robots everywhere. And we never really explained them. A lot of them were dressed as, like, Father Christmas. Or, like, they were dressed as, like, people, like, the sort of people who go out and play, like, brass band music.
Pelicans are Satan's pet tilde miss.
We may come to that. I will give Satan a pelican if they arrive. What does Father Christmas look like?
That's not a cult, that's a men's club.
Christmas, sure. Dark does not think Christmas is a cult. Santa, yes, Santa. Plasticky Santa face. With a tuba. Yeah, so there was just an episode, they needed some sort of, like, scary Christmas thing, so they decided, what if, like, brass bands who go out into the streets were actually robots that were sent here by aliens to kill people? I have a feeling they were probably meant to be Autons originally, but they changed the script. Whatever. These aren't going high, I don't know if you can tell. What if these were actually robots? Oh no, so scary. Also, I'm just thinking about this. They're not the same ones, are they? Because in the Christmas Invasion, that was the Sycorax. No, Sycorax? Yes? It was different. It was different in both episodes, but they're the same thing. I don't know. Someone did not like marching band in secondary school. Well, we don't really have marching bands, so... but I did add, when I was in secondary school, I did go out and play the trumpet at Christmas on the streets. And I remember... One thing I remember from that is fingerless gloves don't help. Do not expect fingerless gloves to give warmth when playing the trumpet. Wow. What does Santa look like? He doesn't wear the... Does he wear the hat like that? He's got like a hood. I think he's got a hood, right? In this particular form is the hood. Funnily enough, I think these ones... So that just looks... That doesn't look like Santa. I'm going to go with the hat. It doesn't matter. Whatever. No one cares about these things. Dark's Krampus is scarier. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, these were Christmas specials, like... They're supposed to be a bit whimsical, you know? They're not really supposed to be serious.
Cute self-portrait.
It's me, everybody. This is me. Friends who have met me in person can attest this is what I look like, the eyes and all.
Have you found my thing, or is that someone else?
It's someone else. It's me. Also, I don't know what a tuba looks like. Or how you hold one, so we're just gonna... How you doing, miss? You right? Depends what it's a tube of. I've already done the fact about fallopian tubes, haven't I? They're supposed to be fallopian tube. They are misnamed. I think it is a hood to disguise the fact that there's a robot in there, but whatever. You're warm and so very tired. Well, that's fine. You can come here and listen to the sultry tones of me complaining that Russell T Davies' era was not as good as everyone remembers. Christmas specials, they're universally quite bad. Generally, you don't march with an actual tuba, so there's that. Well, yeah, but this isn't marching. This is brass band. We're not talking America here. This ain't marching bands. This is brass bands. Like What Up North and such, where you stand still and play music in the middle of the street. I think this is where the fingers go for like the valves. But anyway, you're here, and you can be reconciled with the wonderful knowledge of Christmas. Has there been a good Christmas special for Doctor Who? That's my question. I know I'm asking people who don't know, but I don't think there has. It's a rhetorical question, largely. Megan Diener, halfway through watching it for the first time in 2 weeks. Diener, though. Yeah, so these are just like robots in masks looking like Santa, because wouldn't it be funny if that was a thing? And then they attack people with rockets that come out of their brass instruments. It's all very silly. I mean, I say it was all very silly, but the first Christmas special does involve the concept of hypnotism-induced mass suicide. So, welcome to Doctor Who. Tooth, or lack thereof, still hurts. Had driving lessons, so I'm tired. You made Atlas in Red Dead Redemption Online. Oh, this driving lesson the day after having a tooth out, my word. It's quite something. You don't deserve more than this, so you're going on the list. I mean, I vaguely remember you, so... You did at least provide entertainment value for the sheer what's happening? If you were removed from your episode, nothing in the plot would have changed, but the feeling of it would have, so... There's something. Also had it before your tooth went out, but 2 driving lessons ahead of time, because she was available, and then you got your tooth pulled. Wonderful. I mean, it depends on like the circumstances of the tooth getting pulled, whether you were under general anaesthetic or if it was just local anaesthetic. Because if you haven't been under general anaesthetic, then that shouldn't really affect things, but... pain isn't too bad because it's the tooth that basically already had damaged nerves. Still not ideal. Speaking of not ideal, we have the not ideal K1 robot from Robot. Let's draw a robot. Second robot. Now, I don't really remember what this robot looks like, but suffice it to say, if you can imagine a 1970s cheap robot outfit, you're not far off. K1 is not K9, no, unfortunately. Already had like a box there with some widgets on it. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. Had a hand that was like a hook. Two hands that are hooks. Ha ha! It's not a hook. Claw, that's the word I'm looking for. With paracetamols and distractions, it's pretty manageable. That's good. Car door, hook hand, car door? Yes. Indeed. Correct. There's probably like a light in there going beep beep. Flash flash. Some lights on here. Did at one point cry because you got overwhelmed? Oh no. But you got through it, and then made Atlas. So now Atlas can cry on your behalf. Make Atlas Smooch Toes Cowboy, yeah. little, sure. It has now. It's the draw through way. If we can't remember, we make it good in our own way. We make it silly. Canonically, someone gave Atlas a gun. I trust Atlas with a gun. I don't trust many of other of Jeeb's OCs with a gun, but Atlas, sure. Hi, Oobs! How you doing? Welcome to the K1 robot. Also, we're talking about Atlas having a gun. Atlas got a gun. Robots and cowboys. Robot cowboys. There is a kind of cyborg cowboy in Doctor Who. I think I put that in the list. And that episode had, what's his name from Farscape and Stargate in it? Ben Browder. Yeah, guy. Here he is, being the sheriff. Played Atlas in Remnant. He had a gun. You only shot Dark a couple of times, like 20. Yeah, it's got the number 2 in there, so it's a couple. A couple, you know, modulo 10. a couple up to some sort of logarithm. Dials and widgets and buttons. I am a sci-fi robot. Beep boop. I kind of like this episode despite how boring it is. This was Tom Baker's first episode. And it was very clearly a leftover story from John Pertwee's era. Basically, scientist makes robot. Evil people take robot, make it do bad things. Scientist feels bad because his creation is doing things that the creation doesn't want to do. It also kind of turns into King Kong when they make the robot really big for some reason. There's twists in there. Turns out someone you thought was good is bad. That legitimately surprised me. It's not remarkable in a lot of ways. I wouldn't say, oh, you've got to go watch Robot. Oh, that's a classic. But it's alright. And the robot's kind of incidental. It's mostly about Nazis. Isn't it always? Doctor Who in a nutshell. There you go, there's a robot. It doesn't really look like the robot in the thing, but it's whatever. Once the world opened up in Red Dead Redemption Online, you were immediately overwhelmed, so you might ask Sawyer if they can play sometime as well. Yee! Get Sawyer in on this. Robot. I quite like the episode. The robot is not the main point, but it is the catalyst for the main point, so... Yeah, sort of. You're alright. Beep boop, I am robot. Why do I have to kill? Pretty much the episode. So, next. Thank you, K1 Robot. 8 more iterations and you'll come back. Next up, the Jadoon. Everyone loves the Jadoon. People might actually know the Jadoon. For once. Not robots. The Jadoon. Hands up if you know the Jadoon. They are the rhinos, yes. Rhinos in space, on the moon. A Jadoon platoon on the moon. I don't know what they look like. This is what I'm discovering. I also don't know what rhinos look like. They weren't at the zoo. Are they at the zoo? Rhinoceros. Ceros coming from the same root as keratin, i.e. referring to hair, and rhino meaning nose. Nose hairs. Or nose horn, really, because horns are made of hair. Got big chunky teeth, remember that. Enemies of the potatoes. Are they enemies of the potatoes? Probably. A lot of things are enemies of the potatoes. I don't know if they have more horns. I'm struggling to remember what they look like. But that's the whole point of this, really, isn't it? It's to watch me struggle. Yeah, the Jadoon are there. I believe they've got more going on in Series 12. I haven't watched that. Fugitive of the Jadoon is the name of an episode I have not seen. But they're basically space police? Kind of. They're acting on behalf of some sort of galactic law service. Like Interpol, but Inter stands for Interstellar. So yeah, Space Rhino Police, which really sounds like a 90s cartoon. Knowing Millennium effects, it's probably got a lot of wrinkles. Somebody. And I believe their language is a lot of O's. Rosho, Bo, Clofo, Noto. Which doesn't make any sense, because in Doctor Who all languages are automatically translated by the TARDIS, but we won't get into that. Consistency in my Doctor Who? What? But yeah, this is actually from the modern series. These are, I think, relatively popular. They've been in a few episodes here and there. They were in the first episode of Series 3. The introductory episode of Martha Jones, Who Deserved Better, and in some other episodes as well. In an episode, I think they were in the What was that called? What was the end of series 4 called? Can't remember. The Missing Planets or something. That's what I'm calling it. The TARDIS couldn't be bothered. She took the day off, as she deserves. So yeah, they're kind of like Sontarans, but what if the Sontarans were, instead of potatoes, they were rhinos? And also the police, rather than military. Much like a lot of the creations of Russell T Davies, they were just sort of there. They didn't really do much. We need a threat. They're not even the threat. They were more of a clock? Oh, there they are. Their heads are a lot taller than I remember. Miss just showing off how bad I am at remembering these things. Look how tall that head is. Big old nostrils, more like a dinosaur. Can't change it now. I'm not changing it. These are my... what are they called? Jadoon. Original... OM. Do not steal. I was right about wrinkly. Yeah, it is interesting actually, now that I think about it. They're really not... they're not a villain necessarily. They are, because they present a threat to what's going on in the story, but they're not the villain of the episodes they're in. They're just sort of more a bureaucratic inconvenience. You know, they are a ticking clock more than they are villainous per se, which is an interesting idea. To have the villain not necessarily be evil, but just be annoying. But there was also an actual villain in that episode, played by an actress whose name I've forgotten. I'm not doing well with actor names in this one. She was Jean in Dinner Ladies. She sucked your brain out with a straw. Don't worry about it. Another fugitive. But yes, she's doing alright. I have not watched Fugitive of the Jadoon, which is not the episode where there is a fugitive and the Jadoon are hunting them down. Different one. Why would that be the same? Don't be silly. But I quite like them. I don't know. They're alright. I'm gonna put them in the... they're alright. I have no issues with them. Good for them. You do your thing. I mean, they are police. But they're Space Rhino police. That's kind of more fun. There are plenty of episodes of Doctor Who where the villain is the human police, so and I've not included those in the randomizer, so... it's the human space police normally, but it's still the human police. But yeah. There you go, the Jadoon. They're Jadoon. So moving on, we have the Cyber King. Yes, we have variants. We've done the Cybermats, now the Cyber King. Which I'm going to include because it's stupid. Who remembers the next Doctor? Another terrible Christmas special. Say what you like about Smith and Jones, that one was at least not a Christmas special.
Chris, this is just one of your silly little characters.
I would possibly accept that as a description. However, there is one word in there that is not accurate.
Is it Chris?
Yes, I'm never accurate. So what if a giant robot stomped around Victorian London? Why, it has yet to really be explained to me, but it runs on orphans. So, there's that. Runs on orphans. It's powered by orphans. What if all of the workhouses in Victorian London were actually secretly a powerhouse to run a giant mech? That is essentially the plot of this episode. It's... The Christmas special's bad, alright? Doctor Who never had the budget for this. This was run by... Oh, I always get this wrong. Was it actually run by her? Hang on. I think it was run by Miranda Richardson. I seem to remember thinking it was her, but then it wasn't. No, it wasn't anyway. I thought it was Miranda Richardson, it's not. Or she has expunged that from her Wikipedia page. What if the monster was capitalism? Kind of. But yeah, there was the what if evil woman exploits child labor to make big mech, but also the people who helped her make the big mech were actually also evil and turned her into the Cyber King. So she's in there somewhere with like a pair of weird headphones on that are controlling her brain and making her control the mech. Also is fighting a hot air balloon called the TARDIS. We don't ask questions about this episode. If I had a penny for every time a hot air balloon was critical in a Victorian era episode about a giant thing attacking London. Though to be fair, in the second instance, the T-Rex was just incidental. It went attacking London. Thinking about what if at the start of that quote, you must have been asking yourself why while writing it. Do you mind I edit it when I get the chance? Can do. Hang on. Because I will forget otherwise. That's a good one as well. Quotes, everybody. Here they are. They're all here in one text document. Also, I'll capitalize that because I'm like that. Do need to reset my bot so that it will not overwrite that. There we go. This episode's stupid. There is one good thing in this episode, and it's not in-universe good. And that is that there are some Cybermen who have like shaggy cloaks on and they sort of do like no theater kind of monster movements. They're kind of cool. They're terrible, but they're cool. Nothing to do with Cybermen. Very clearly the product of somebody who has been in drama school. Performing arts, interpretive dance, etc. I say as somebody who studied performing arts. Oh, something I forgot to say. I was going to bring this up and I forgot. You know those robots? How about them robots? The Christmas robots? Father Christmas is. To my knowledge, the only Doctor Who monster who is in the British Museum. I have seen them in person. Because there is an exhibit there in the currency section. Talking about a scene where they wanted an ATM to explode money all over as a distraction, and so they had to print their own fake money. They couldn't use real money. And for some reason that's in the British Museum, and so there is just a still of these things explaining that part of the episode. So these buggers, of all things, appear in the British Museum. Not many things people are happy about being in the British Museum, and that's one of them. Food mostly prepped. It's Lewis's problem now. Yay! Performing arts? More like performing art. Indeed. Stole a robot. That's the room you're in when you run out of time. Whoa. British Museum stole money! Need a TARDIS. I think we got a pizza, didn't we? Anyway. So yeah, the Cyber King. Yeah. The less said about that, the better. Indeed, the less said about that, the better. It is a plot point in later episodes. Later episodes, I might add, by different writers, asking the question, if that happened, why does no one remember it? So another writer had to pick up that slack. Anyway, British Museum stole a lot more than just money. I mean, to be fair, a lot of individual rich arseholes stole a lot of things and then gave them to the British Museum. And a lot of people who are working in the British Museum are like, can we give these back? And the government are like, no. I will not defend the British Museum on a lot of individual standing points, but there are quite a lot of people there who really would rather these things go back, but they're not allowed because our government's like that. It's Doctor Who. They didn't really have to do that. True. Yes, I'm randomizing. Sorry, completely zoned out there. Next, Cyber King done. The Shoal of the Winter Harmony. Who likes body horror? The Return of Dr. Mysterio is still... That's a good title. That's a Christmas special. We're getting all the Christmas specials. This is also from The Husbands of Riversong. But I prefer them in The Return of Dr. Mysterio because there's a very funny scene at the end of it. Count Binface for Prime Minister, hell yeah. At the very least, a Pete Farage, please. So I don't know what the Shoal of Winter Harmony is. It's one of those things where it sounds complicated and esoteric and is probably like some sort of gestalt of some description. But it manifests as people who can just sort of split their head open for some reason. And it's like blue and gooey inside. Going back to washing dishes. The blue dabba dee dabba da. They are. What if I took the calendars too far? What are we on now? Your brain was turning off and on again. We're on the Shoal of Winter Harmony, which, I'll be perfectly honest, I would not have been able to tell you the name off the top of my head. I don't even remember what their plan was in The Return of Dr. Mysterio. The entire Netherlands believes in you, Count Binface. And with the entire Netherlands, you mean you. To be fair, quite a lot of Britain believes in Count Binface. For anyone who's not aware, there is there was a scandal in Britain involving one of the worst people, Nigel Farage, because he took an awful lot of money from people he shouldn't have and did not disclose it. Kel Surprise, politician, takes bongs and bribes, etc. And instead of, like, you know, doing anything sensible, he decided, I'm gonna resign so you can't prosecute me for this, but then I'm also gonna hold an election, a by-election, so that if people vote for me, that means they wanted me here. And then you can't do anything. Because I don't think he's thought this through. But basically every other political party went, this is stupid, we're not doing this. But our resident joke candidate, Count Binface, he's involved, and there is the outside hope that maybe, just maybe, he might win. If he's the only other candidate, he might win. We have a lot of joke candidates in Britain. It's a whole thing. It's a very long-running history of, you know, anyone should be able to run for office, even if your campaign is silly. And there was a whole history of, like, Lord Buckethead being a thing. That was a character from a thing. Somebody pretended to be that, but then there were copyright issues, so now it's Count Binface. How would resigning it make it so he couldn't be charged for doing a crime? It's not a crime, it's against the MP standards. He was just given a gift, right? Being given a gift by somebody is in and of itself not a crime. However, if you are an MP and you don't disclose that, so on and so forth, then you can be prosecuted for it, because you're going against the standards of your job. But if you're not an MP, it's not a civilian crime. You're just given a gift. So he tried to get out of it like that, and like I said, I don't think he's really thought it through how the end game's gonna work here, but, you know. It's one of those things. There was a wonderful quote from Count Binface. There was a journalist who said, so face coverings are not allowed under the rules of Parliament. You're not allowed to wear a face covering in Parliament, so you won't be able to actually stand, or you won't be able to actually represent yourself in Parliament. And Count Binface went, well, yeah, but also, you know, taking bribes is against the rules of being a member of Parliament, and that seems quite loosey-goosey, so I'm sure I can work something out. He's doing quite well on PR. Goopy goop. Blue goop. Again, I think there's some sort of like these things are some sort of smaller organism that just sort of builds up to make something that looks like a human just for disguise purposes. They're not really people, but it's fun body horror in your Christmas special. Did he get gifts from companies or private citizens? From crypto founders and billionaires. These gifts are like in the millions. I should specify. These personal gifts are in the millions. But obviously, you know, they're personal gifts. They should have no political leanings whatsoever. Why would that be something that you'd have to actually, you know, tell Parliament about? Anyone could get a gift of 5 million from a crypto boss. There's a rule for this somewhere in Belgian law. There's one in British law as well. That's why he resigned. Just nobody understands why he then went to stand again. I guess he thinks he can out-popular the rules? I don't know. Quite. Cannot receive more than 500 euros from a single person. Yeah, there's definitely a thing like that in British rule. It has to be it has to be passed through the government. If there's a physical gift, it definitely has to be passed through the government and kept as property of the government. Because there was a whole episode of Yes Minister about it. Very silly. He still did it while he was in office, though. Like, why would it matter if he resigned afterwards and if he gets re-elected, it's a crime again? That's the question. Is like, if you're getting re-elected, you've still done it and you're still an MP. What's... Are you hoping you don't get elected? Again, it's not a crime. It's just against the rules of being an MP for which you can be punished. So you resigning makes sense. You going for election again doesn't. Again, I think he thinks he can out-popular the rules. He's operating on toddler rules, pretty much. He is our resident arsehole. We've got a few, don't get me wrong, but he's the, you know, he's the friend of Trump. Etc. So... Anyway, the Shoal of Winter Harmony. They've got a cool name. They've got a cool concept. I can't remember why they're in the episode, so they go down here. Every country has a resident arsehole. Yeah, we've all got our own. He's ours. No one is friends with Trump. He's not capable of having friends. Yes, but Farage gives the image of it. A lot of photo opportunities with Trump and shaking hands and smiling and laughing and all that sort of stuff. Next. It's got very political, didn't it? Speaking of political, we also have the Sycorax, who I've already talked about. We're getting all the Christmas specials. Sycorax are the Christmas special, right? Hang on. Actually, it would be a Christmas special regardless of which one I'm thinking. Yeah, Christmas Invasion. So same as the same episode as these guys. You'll be pleased to know. God knows how the hell I draw these. They've got like bone hats that sort of go around the face like this, sort of. And they got teethies. Again, a weird design for a Christmas special. Doctor Who gets pseudo-political. It's in line with the spirit of the show. By political, you mean the British government gets involved in some way or another. And Churchill's a good guy. Do not look at history books. Churchill's a good guy. Bengali famine? Let's not... Shush. Speaking of Doctor Who governments, who are UNIT? Are they good or bad or in between? You never really knew. UNIT are the United Nations Intelligence Task Force. They are a non-governmental organisation set up to investigate extraterrestrial occurrences. They're essentially United Nations weird military. They can be good, they can be bad. They are morally questionable sometimes. The episode Doctor Who and the Silurians enforces that, because basically the Doctor spends the entire time trying to negotiate on behalf of a species that has been on this planet longer than humans has, with humans, that they can coexist on the planet, and UNIT come along and go, right, cool, glad you've done that, we're gonna kill them all. Lawful neutral? Yeah, that's about right. Lawful neutral. This does not look like the Sycorax, but I find it funny. Yeah, they're lawful neutral. They butt heads with the Doctor sometimes, but they also help the Doctor. It's I like the dynamic. If you want to know more about UNIT, watch any episode of the Third Doctor, because he spent basically all of his time with UNIT, having been exiled to Earth. He basically worked for them. He was the scientific advisor. Under Brigadier Sir Alistair Gordon Lethbridge Stewart. Just took the last snack right in front of his face. Huh? I'm gonna keep it like this, because I don't really remember what they look like, other than they look like they've had like their skin peeled off and a bone hat put on. About it, really. They got red eyes? Red eyes. Can't really convey that like this. They've probably got like big pauldrons and stuff. So their deal, I do actually remember their plot. Their plot was blood magic. Doctor Who, everyone. Or blood control. Strictly speaking, basically they could mind control anyone with a particular blood type, because they had a sample of human blood of type A or something. I can't remember which one it was. And yeah, they were like, well, what if we just hypnotize them all to stand on the edge of tall buildings? And they said, if you don't surrender, we'll make them jump. Christmas special. And yeah, these guys. But then the Doctor wakes up because of a nice cup of tea and stops them with a sword fight, while quoting The Lion King. People are fighting outside of your window. You need to eavesdrop. New Lord of the Rings looks like it's a bit Sauron-y. I've ended up making it quite Sauron-y. There's sunken eyes as well, I remember. They're very tired. This also contains, prior to UNIT coming back, that kind of lawful neutral kind of vibe of these guys. The Doctor basically going, hey, look, this planet's protected. Bugger off. Stop doing this. If you go now, we won't chase you. And go out and tell everybody that the planet's protected, etc., etc. And as they go away, the British government's like, yeah, but what if we just shot them and then they blow them up in the sky? Genocide. British government. So that was reintroducing the idea of something like unit. Because Russell T Davies has no original ideas. Oh my god! Yeah, people's make it look weird. Because it wasn't weird to begin with. Sometimes you just gotta lean into the silly. I know it's very unusual for me to be... Can't even finish that. Funnily enough, the one I was getting these confused with, and it sort of looks more like them. But maybe we'll get to that. If you asked me next week what these were supposed to be, I probably wouldn't be able to tell you. So bad. Totally normal face. When you get to them, just copy this picture. Invert colours, done. Invert colours look like this. Ugh. It's not. How about that? That'll do. Who's going to tell them that there's nearly 50 different blood group systems from determining human blood type? Nobody told Russell T Davies that. Nor indeed the general public. That's all it has to appeal to. You ate cheese from the cheese bag. Tummy be damned. Bag cheese is better than most other foods. Jeez. Every time you zoom out, you have a little hee-hee about Omega and the trampoline and marshmallow lad. They're doing great. The Sycorax. They at least had a plan, I remember, so that's something. I mean, to be fair, the Sycorax, when I say the Sycorax, I mean the Sycorax leader. The rest of them were just sort of extras standing in the background. They could have been replaced with basically anything else and I would have been fine. So they can't go high. In order to get to a C, you have to be at least, like, specific. And the Sycorax were not specific. They were monster made for being monster. Describe bag cheese. Your next prompt. Describe bag cheese. This is probably some abomination against cheese. Speaking of abominations against cheese, next up we've got the Smilers from The Beast Below. We have finally, just as we're on the cusp of offending Oobs with cheese, we have finally gotten back to Stephen Moffat. Should probably put this in context rather than just drawing a face.
Furious smiley.
Furious smiley. Once again, I don't remember why these were in the episode, because they really didn't have anything anything. They looked creepy. It's about it, really. I don't know what they did. They were like, okay, so the conceit of the episode for these... Back, jeez! Watched an entire 30-minute Vizio essay on my BBC Sherlock scratched phone scene, as well as his general deductions of Watson are bad. It was a great time. Yeah. Cheese good. Cheese goes into dinner to become goop and delicious. I was saying, oh yeah, the general conceit of this episode. This was the second episode of Series 5, I want to say. This is The Beast Below. The general conceit was Earth is screwed, so we have to move. And countries decide to build their own spaceships to move. But Britain is so screwed that it can't afford to build a spaceship. So what it does is it hitchhikes on the back of a giant space whale. And by hitchhikes, I mean torches. And yeah. And I think, like, various entertainment or administrative roles are performed by automatons that have the big, creepy smiles, and when they do something you don't like, or those smiles turn into this, and then bad things happen. I don't remember why that's in the episode. The whole episode's basically a thing about... It's probably got a bow tie. The thing about, like, unnecessary cruelty when actually, kindness might do the job. And immediately, second episode, new companion comes along and immediately understands the metaphor behind the Doctor and this whale, and it's like, come on, stop being so heavy-handed. Moffat, heavy-handed, what? And they're in a booth. They're in like a ticket booth. Which is why I don't know why they're scary. Because they're in a ticket booth. It was a secret that they were on the whale. Oh yeah, it was a thing where, like, they constantly took a vote, wasn't it? Oh, this is such a Moffat idea. They constantly took a vote to be like, okay, we're torturing this whale to actually travel through space. We're going to do this democratically, though. Democratic torture. Everyone gets a choice. You can either protest or you can forget. Like, every year, everyone gets the choice. You can either protest against this, or just go, actually, I'm going to forget about it and go back to my normal everyday life. And get amnesiac. Amnesiac. I forgot about that, yeah, that was the whole thing. Give you a little waistcoat. There's a lot in this episode, and none of it is really in service of the main idea, but... Oh, they fed the protest voters to the whale, which isn't really democracy, but I guess that's the parody. I mean, it's not a democracy because the whole thing is run by the Queen, but... And the Queen is played by... actress. This is Queen Elizabeth VI, I think. I'm doing really bad with names today, aren't I? They put all the mentions of Moffat in Discord from that video. Entire handbag of cheese. And that implies you're carrying cheese outside. And, oh, that's going to smell. Particularly in this heat. There's a big deal about glasses of water because no engine vibrations? Oh, yeah, that makes sense. It's like, oh, we're on a ship, but there are no vibrations. Oh, how could that be? Particularly given that it was made by Britain. It should be falling apart. Clearly, it can't be, the British made a really good ship. No. Torture of a space whale. Like, there's a good premise in there. Like all Doctor Who episodes, there's a good premise in there somewhere. Just gotta dig for it and then write fanfiction. These are also like shiny and plasticky. These aren't people, I should specify, they're like automatic Circus of value kind of vibes. Oh, handbag. Gotta go with the first thing your brain gives you and then go, that's a lot of cheese. I'm now just imagining somebody sort of walking along with a handbag. Just like very, like, sort of dressed up for like ascot, kind of hoi polloi, sort of, not hoi polloi, the opposite of hoi polloi. Haughty-taughty, is that a word? Just dressed up all posh, you know, going to horse races or whatever, and carrying a handbag and fascinator and makeup done impeccably, and they sort of stop and they look around, look to the side, pull out a huge block of cheese from their handbag and just go and then put it back. That image pleases me. Anyway, the Smilers, speaking of things that don't please me, we have a tier for things that are completely replaceable. It's an image that stayed with me, so it can't go in F. So completely replaceable. There we go. Legit why the show has such an active fandom. There's potential, but it's not realised. Exactly. And that's why the last series was so bad, because it didn't even have potential. Keep thinking there should be the Venetian automatons, but that's a different smiley robot. Venetian automatons? Oh, they're coming up. They're coming up. That wasn't Venetian. That was French. What are you thinking of? E for completely replaceable. You watch a creator on YouTube that prefaces her ad reads with "Let's get to Admiral name," and I just kept hearing "Let's get to Admiral name" for months. Didn't even question it. That's fair. That's fair. Speaking of things we don't question, we do not question Sutek. Sutek will just erase you from history. I like it when the segue works. Okay, what Sutek do we want? We want old Sutek or new Sutek? Place your votes now. Okay, there's old medium done Sutek. New Sutek, we got 2 for new. New tech bad. Well, yeah, but that's why I gave you the opportunity. I think new has actually won, so yay, new tech. New tech it is. Dealers tried. Oh, Kiro swapped the votes, so now it's even again. But Plamps is in. Unfamiliar with this game, but yeah. Okay, I can do both. By I could do, I mean I can't really. So Sutek is Sutek. It's not really that complicated. And comes in 2 flavors, guy in hat and dog. So I will draw both. The hell that works? Oh, that's Shrek, isn't it? How's that? How do you do it like the ancient Egyptian eye thing? Forgotten how it works. It's something like this, right? Drawing chicken drumsticks. Sutek, god of chicken drumsticks. So yeah, there was a period in Doctor Who history where they were like, we're kind of bored with sci-fi, what if we just did like horror? And so they took a bunch of classic horror tropes and turned them into Doctor Who stories. And one of them was classic... Oh yeah, there's a thing that goes under, thank you, yeah, like that. From this camera. Oh, I missed the thing up here now. Let's put something else up. There's probably like a... I'm going to make up symbols. the thing, and probably like something like that, and then like. Actually, was there a thing on top? Maybe there might have been some stuff on the side. Guy in hat. What a beautiful butterfly. I do actually think there was something like this on the sides, but I don't know what it was. More things. Maybe take that off. So yeah, they decided to do the mummy, essentially a mummy story, and they thought, well, what if it wasn't just a mummy? What if Sutek? Sutek's probably an alien. It's been a while since I've watched that episode, I'll be perfectly honest. Probably some sort of alien or god or something that came to Earth, ancient alien style. Are you my mummy? Jeeb, you are not the first person to take an episode of Doctor Who with a mummy in it and use that line. We have not gotten to the foretold yet, but we will. But yeah, so they basically went like, you know, ancient aliens, powerful creature, got trapped by the ancient Egyptians. Might be released by a posh English guy who has collected, quote, collected Egyptian artifacts, including something that can access Sutek. And that's going to go well for him. And the thing I quite like about the old Sutek is it's clearly just a guy in a costume who doesn't move. It's just sort of there, just sat in a chair, can't move, because trapped. And never shouts, always stays calm voice. Because they have power, they're in control. Why raise your voice? I know I'm gonna kill you. I don't need to get angry. It's cool. It's cool when a villain's, like, intimidating because, you know, they don't have to be shouty. They can just be like, yeah, you're gonna die. Why would I get angry at you? So yeah, there's old Tech. He sits in a chair with his big hat. And then there's new Tech, who is a CGI dog. Because everyone loves CGI. And basically, the end of... What was the other one? Not Pyramids of Mars. Pyramids of Mars? I remember what the other one was called. Anyway, at the end of that episode, the Doctor banished him to the time zone into this stream of time, but actually it turned out that he was clinging onto the outside of the TARDIS since the 1970s. No one had noticed. What does the dog look like? Sure, why not? Yeah, Russell T Davies decided that on his first series finale coming back as a writer, he would bring back Sutek from that one episode no one remembers and make it so that he's been here the whole time. Literally. As a dog now. Pescatons. Lewis is sharing this. Doctor Who and their Pescatons. Funnily enough, the episode that we're talking about, the old episode, does contain these two actors. Tom Baker as the Fourth Doctor, and Elizabeth Sladen as Sarah Jane Smith, the investigative journalist. Good pair, good pair. Sutek is Sam Reich? Maybe. He was always just out of shot. The thing people like to point out with this is that in another Russell T Davies episode, there is a point where Captain Jack Harkness is also clinging on to the outside of the TARDIS as it flies through the time zone. And a lot of people made some good fan art of Jack and Sutek clinging on together going, hey, you new here? Angie CGI dog now also probably has the curlies under the eyes because that probably looks cool. So I confess I have not seen the new one. Not really in the market for seeing it either. Why watch something you know you will not like? I think he's got some sort of clothes or jewelry or something. Also, like, oh my god, the reveal. I do know also the reveal, spoilers for season 1, quote unquote, series 15 of New Who. But the reveal of this, like, the whole build-up has been like, oh my god, is this person actually this person? Oh wow, that would be so cool. And then the reveal is, no, I was in fact Sutek the whole time. You can tell because of a complicated anagram involving an abbreviation of my name. It was so bad. Oh yeah, Harriet Harbinger, that was also a thing. It's like Harbinger. You get it? So bad. To be fair, I can look past that. That's Doctor Who. It's funny. Sutek. Oh yeah, it was Susan Triad. Like, there was this woman who kept cropping up called Susan Triad, and it was like, oh, is that Susan, Doctor's granddaughter called Susan? Is that the thing? Is that her this whole time? Oh my god, she's come back. Is that who that is? And then in her last appearance, she was heading a company called Susan Triad Technology, or whatever it was. And it was like, oh, you're Susan, are you my granddaughter? And it's like, no, I'm actually Sutek, because Susan Tech. Sutek. See? You should have guessed. I'm spoiling a lot of things, but frankly, so does the episode. And, like, it literally on screen, like, she's at, like, a presentation with, like, stuff behind her, and as she's giving her evil, I am actually Sutek, or thing, or she's the Harbinger or whatever, and you can see the logo shifting around and the letters move and get abbreviated, just, like, it's so convoluted they had to have a visual representation of how you get from A to B with the letters. It's real bad. Yeah, really trying to capture the bad wolf phenomenon. He had no new ideas. Apart from Make It Camp, which I'm all for. That was the best bit. But it didn't have any stories, which is the issue.
I am your host Sutek and I've been here the whole time. Now you all know how the game works. No, of course not. The only way to learn is by playing, the only way to win is by learning, and the only way to begin is by beginning.
Yeah. Probably could improve the pacing of that, Hazel, but you got it. You pronounced Sutek correct. Good job. Bad Wolf, a good series foreboding thingy. It was good because it wasn't obvious what it was. Even after it had been revealed, it wasn't obvious what it was. It was just like a series of words that are like, this is ominous. What's going on? It wasn't anagrams. Harold Saxon. To be fair, Harold Saxon was also an anagram, but that wasn't an in-universe anagram. That Harold Saxon was an anagram of Master Number 6. No, Mr. Harold Saxon. Something like that. What am I looking at? Where do you put Sutek? I haven't seen the new series, so this is entirely based on the old one. And again, I like a villain that doesn't shout. It's an effective thing, but I also can't remember what the episode's about. So, well, no, we put, yeah, we'll put it with like Ganymede Systems. That feels appropriate. Sure. There's also a giant mummy, which is a robot. You were confused by Bad Wolf. So was I. Up until fairly recently, when I decided to look up what the hell was Bad Wolf. Because it never really had the proper denouement that it deserved. We knew it was like Rose, or something, the Rose TARDIS thing. Scary, but yeah, it never really had a satisfying, like, boom, there's the ending. It just kind of carried on trailing on. Bad Wolf Bay, it sounds like Dalek. It was a good mystery, it just didn't really... It didn't necessarily need to have a good ending either, because that wasn't really what the story was about. It was about the Doctor and Rose. Anyway, let's get a new one. Believe it or not, I know we haven't really built up or explained what we're talking about with Bad Wolf, but don't worry, neither did the show. Randomize! We have Mara. 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 Again, I'll be perfectly honest, I can't remember exactly what the Mara is. It's some sort of deity to do with snakes. It hypnotizes people, it takes people over. It gets in your head, and when it's in your head, it doesn't really get out. This is from Old Who? This is from Fifth Doctor. 2 episodes, in fact. Snake Dance and the one that came before that, which is probably just called the Mara. Blep. It's a snake. This snake looks more convincing than the prop they used in the episode. So I don't feel bad. I'm a snake. They replaced it with crap CGI in the DVD release, which I'm really annoyed about, because it's the crap prop is the best bit. They have a giant papier-mâché snake head. Yeah, it's basically a snake thing that gets in your head. And mind control probably happens. And yeah. God's snake god. There's one character in particular, Tegan Jovanka, who it kept getting in the head of. You know how we say, like, Martha deserved better? I don't think many people would necessarily agree with me when I say that Tegan deserved better. Because she's got a mouth on her. But that's what I like about her. She ain't taking your crap. She's Australian. She's not having any of this. Honest to God, love crappy props. Exactly. Give me the make it look like a stage show that was made for like 10 bob. I want you to act like this thing is real so that I will believe it's real too. Lewis has posted a difference between Snake Dance and the CG version. I believe the Snake Dance snake is better than the original one. Because that was like a series later. But yeah, one thing I also want to get into people's heads about the difference between Old Who and New Who is that old Doctor Who had a wider variety of companions. Let's go thieves. They've got their thieves. They've got big thieves. I'm giving big thieves. Sorry. But yeah, Doctor Who, the classic Who, really experimented more with the idea of who would travel with the Doctor, and under what circumstances. In the modern show, a lot of it was basically romance-oriented, which is weird when you watch the classic show, because there's literally none of that in there. Nobody is romantically interested in the Doctor, ever. And nor is the Doctor romantically interested in anyone else. My favourite line from the classic era is Tom Baker, Fourth Doctor, talking to a woman and going... I think she asked him something about, like, why were you following me? And he goes, well, you're a beautiful woman, probably. It's like, People got hornier, you got to understand. Yes, the people who watched Doctor Who when they were kids were also going through some things at that time. So, like, well, what if? Now I'm in control of the show. What if I incorporate those two things together? No, I believe it was Russell T Davies's original vision for bringing it back was Doctor Who could be like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That was basically the pitch. When that comes with everything the Buffy the Vampire Slayer comes with, including weird romance. I never really got the romance stuff personally either. I think some of the best Doctor-companion relationships are more friends and or enemies. A la Donna Noble, best RTD companion, and Tegan Jovanka. I like Tegan, I don't know why. She's just like not having it. She basically got abducted. She was trying to go to work, and I think the TARDIS materialized around her, and she's like, "What? Take me home." Flickering images are horrible from that video, but like the old prop that's just a glorified sock puppet. Yeah. Also, if you ever go back and watch old Doctor Who, boy, flashing lights warning. Everywhere, constantly. What if every other frame was just one big still white image? That's how we do effects now, right? We don't know what epilepsy is. Martha too, when she wasn't pining for the Doctor. Yeah, when Martha had something to do, I did like that dynamic. I did quite like the dynamic of the Martha being like, you really took me on because you needed somebody, but you're still not over the last person. I did like that as an idea. I just wish she had something else. I think that's an interesting dynamic to explore. But she needed something else. Martha was cool as hell in Torchwood? Good, I'm glad she was. She deserved it. It was truly, overall, the family intricacies in the 11th Doctor. Yeah, I never got the love triangle thing going on there with the 11th Doctor. And the less said about Clara, the better. But we had Rory, so we could get over that. I wouldn't mind, but like, the series, like halfway through Series 5, there was an episode called Amy's Choice, which was really, really good. And basically put the nail in the coffin about this idea of, you know, oh, does she love the Doctor or Rory? It's like, she chose Rory. End of question. Let's talk about something else now. Like, but no, I have to keep going on. Always Rory. Rory deserved better. Again, I don't really remember much about the Mara. But it's a big papier-mâché snake. What's not to like? I can't put it up here, can I? No, can I? No, I have to remember it for it to go above C, so it's going in C. There we go. Yeah, then treats Rory like crap, exactly. Hot take, did not like Amy as a character. That's perfectly reasonable, I don't think that's a hot take. I think a lot of people are with you on that. Can put them in whatever category I like. It's my tier list. I can do what I want. Lukewarm take. You also didn't like Amy. Tepid take. I'm indifferent to her. Never much cared for the character all that much. I was here for silly stories. But again, like I want more interesting character dynamics between the Doctor and companion, and that wasn't interesting. You know, it was crummy sitcom setup. Love triangle. Stephen Moffat just finished writing Coupling. He still had some stuff in the back seat, basically. Anyway, enough of the Mara. Instead, we have Syl. Who likes Syl? I like Syl. Could probably draw all of Syl. Not often you get to draw all of a character here. Moffat should not write anything to do with Coupling. Bad news, he wrote 5 series of a sitcom called Coupling. He was a sitcom writer before he did Doctor Who, by the way. He used to write sitcoms before he did dramas, which explains an awful lot about his approach to writing drama, which I think not a lot of people take into account. They think he's actually trying to write serious drama. But no, he's still a sitcom writer at heart. So a lot of the things that he thinks as jokes, people are like, oh my god, you really think that? It's like, no, it's a joke. It's not a good joke, but it's a joke. Syl. This is an episode, an old episode, Vengeance on Varys. This is 6th Doctor, I believe. God, we're really running the gamut today, aren't we? 5th Doctor, 4th Doctor, 6th Doctor. Do we get anything else? Modern stuff? 11th, 10th, 12th, 15th. Got a lot. Got a lot. Sure, Missy's great, but why the sudden kissing? Yes, that's my one big thing with Missy, is that scene. It's like, just cut that out. We don't need that. It doesn't make sense. It's not funny. It's quite uncomfortable. We ignore that. We ignore that! Missy started existing in Series 9, alright? And also the little speech that she gives at the end of Series 8. She wants her friend back. She misses her friend. So that's a good dynamic. Anyway. Oh yeah, just because he has doesn't mean he should. It was popular, it was big. Coupling was big. Not my thing, obviously, but it was. Vengeance on Varys. Very interesting idea for an episode. Really backfired on the BBC. So the idea was, what if Space Penal Colony turned civilization of its own right? Whoops, I hit the microphone. I'm gesturing. I don't know why I'm gesturing, because no one... Was this still Moffat's doing? Because that's Irene Adler is gay, but somehow will risk anything for Sherlock stuff. I mean, Moffat wrote Dark Water and Death in Heaven, so yes. As for the Irene Adler stuff, dunno. That could have been a Mark Gatiss idea. We'll never know. Sorry, yes, Vengeance of Varys. So, 6th Doctor, the idea was, what if Penal Colony turned civilization had...
Fucking knew it.
What if they had a kind of democratic system of torture, where if somebody was perceived to have broken the rules, like a politician or just a general person, the public could vote on the punishment. And that was conveniently televised and sold as like videotapes and stuff like that, and that's how the economy kept running. And it was essentially like a criticism of the extremities of television at the time, but also there were big calls in politics at that time to bring back capital punishment and execution and stuff. And so it was a sort of criticism of that. Because it's always like, yeah, bring back hanging and let me watch. And yeah, it's an interesting idea. It is an episode of Black Mirror, essentially. But as an episode of Doctor Who. Unfortunately, in its depiction of these scenes of torture and violence, it became the subject of calls to have the episode banned because it's too violent. So they kind of sort of missed the mark on that one. But anyway, the idea is like this run by these people and so on and so forth. There's this guy called Syl, who's this little lizard fella, who is like, oh, I'm so evil. How much money do you make from selling execution videos? And he's great. The actor's having a wonderful time. So evil. A lot of tongue flopping. He's just a little evil guy. Yeah, I think his deal is like he's like an investor in this. And be like, how can we make more money? By televising torture. Again, another episode of Doctor Who that had a kind of cool and interesting point that hadn't really been explored before in the show, that didn't quite work. I also always confuse this guy with the guy from The Sunmakers, which is a hilarious episode because it's basically one of the writers got annoyed at how much tax he was paying, so decided to make an episode about how tax is bad. What if people were taxed so bad that they were just committing suicide? It was so bad, so we'll have a revolution and kill all the tax collectors. That's my episode of Doctor Who. Can I stop paying tax now? Love that you both got Steiner's OG theme and the draw-through theme this stream. Yeah. It's because it's not a very big playlist. Very goopy and amphibian-y. Again, I kind of put this in on a technicality because he's kind of not really the bad guy. The bad guy is people. But, you know, he's fun. Sometimes you just got to put something in because they're fun. And I like fun things. It's a good episode. It's a cool premise. It doesn't quite hit the mark. But he's just having fun. It's just having fun. Marshmallow Omega. Looks like a mermaid in a sleeping bag, Loki. I mean, you're not far off. Just imagine that covered in algae. Also, hi Sawyer, how you doing? Hang on, I get a picture. Sea Devils when? They're on the list? Oh, he comes back. Didn't know he came back. It's in more than one episode. There you go. Like a good picture? Oh wow, it's like a fan favorite. They've got books and stuff. Blinking heck. It's the vibe we're going for. Do you see why I remembered the line around the face where the mask is? What if I'm Blob? But anyway, he's having a good time. So the bag cheese discussion, what was in class? Yeah. A more cockroachy. Yeah, I thought it was greener. I mean, there are pictures of him greener. But they don't look like the same episode I was thinking of, so... I did get the right name, didn't I? Doctor Who, Vengeance on Vera. Yeah, no, it is Syl. Syl has her own... Oh, no, I was going to say, Syl has a Wikipedia page. No, it's just list of Doctor Who villains. But anyway, enough of that. Everyone please view Skedaddle after stream if possible, just in case you haven't seen it before. You love Skedaddle. What's Skedaddle? Is it a film? TV show? Oops. Have you considered a whole bag of handbag of cheese? What's a Skedaddle? Oh, there's a Oh, I have seen Skedaddle. Skedaddle is funny. Big fan of Skedaddle. Thank you very much, Plams. Yes. The context may be important to understand the skedaddle, but it is fun. What am I doing? Oh yeah, I'm generating things. That's what I'm doing. Ooh. That's enough of Cell. Now for the rest of the window. We have The Wire! Oh god, Margatus is back. How dare you immortalize his name in my quote button? Gonna be cowboys with friends. Skedaddle is how you wish you could exit many conversations. Same. A little more rounded one. A nice decoration. In fact, actually, I don't remember the name of the company. Magpie. Electronic. So this was from Series 2, I think, of the reboot. The first reboot. We might have a second soon. Moffat's already in there, I'm sure. Oh, absolutely. Gotta put them together.
Asterisk confused and worried burble asterisk.
Me every day. Oh, there isn't a Moffat in there. Really? Wow. I'm surprised. Would have thought one of Oobs' many insults would have made it in there. They're entertaining, is the thing. So... I think you need to talk more about Moffat. Look, this is a Margatus episode. This has nothing to do with Moffat. It's also, being a Margatus episode, not very good. A two-parter, in fact, for reasons that escape me. So this was an episode where, what if the TV ate your face? Literally the idea. There's like an alien consciousness that is made of electricity, and it infects televisions, and it consumes your face for reasons that no one really quite explained. Yeah, literally just like took your face off, so you're just left with like a blank. There's some wonderful. It's supposed to be creepy because there's people with no faces. But there's some wonderful outtakes of David Tennant trying to act opposite Billy Piper with no face and not laugh. I do recommend that. He can't do it. But yeah, its call was, I believe, feed me? Feed me. I think feed me. You would just say feed me as it was eating your face. It eats your face in a very metaphysical, lightning arcs from the TV onto your face and then stretches your face off kind of way. Have no face and I must watch TV. It's a metaphor, you see, for TV being watched by... and Also, it's set around the time of the Queen Elizabeth II's coronation, so everyone's buying a TV, so that there's peril. This is a two-parter. I still don't know why. Some episodes are just inexplicable. The content warning for not having a face. Steals your face. Awful. So yeah, this manifests, obviously being like a child of the 1970s, this manifests as a kindly female presenter of a show indicative of, I can't remember who this is indicative of, but there was an old TV presenter who used to tell stories to children. Now sit down, sit quietly, and then we'll begin. So what if we turn that into horror? So I characters without a nose and thought, but what if more? What if less?
Are you sitting comfortably? Good, then let's begin.
I don't hate it. The episode's fine, which honestly for Gatiss is high praise. It's got to go above Lazarus, but it can't go above Sutek. So we'll just stick it there. So it's not bad. That's not bad. It's not good. It's not bad. The Lazarus CGI, exactly. That's why I'm not upset that that's how I drew it, because it's like, yeah, that's about as good. Mum grew up with her on TV. She hated those episodes because it ruined her childhood. Yay! Well, evidently Mark Gatiss felt the same. But speaking of ruined childhoods, what if the Daleks? They finally cropped up, everyone. Have you heard of the Daleks? It's time, everyone. This one's flying for some reason. I've started drawing, so I'll finish. Daleks.
It's okay, they can't climb stairs.
They've never been able to climb stairs. Except in the 1980s, and then the early 2000s, and then 2010s, and then 2020s. They have a whisk, and then plunger. Do we do old Dalek or new Dalek? Old Dalek is very 60s sci-fi, streamlined. Oh, I love that film. Wee bonk. They don't like magnets. Can we watch that film? It's brilliant and terrible. Old Dalek and baby new Dalek. Okay, we're doing classic old Dalek, classic Dalek with the etheric beam locators. Because there's not much difference between them. The main difference is, for some reason, when they came back, they were like, what if we just armor plated them? What if we made them look like something out of Warhammer? And it worked. Amderlik. What about everyone's favourite, Dalek Oswin? Can you ban a mod? There's also the new Daleks, which I haven't seen. Then there was the Paradigm Daleks, which existed for a single episode before everyone thought it was a terrible idea and stopped. Then there's the Human Dalek Hybrid, which... Oh, that's in the list. We won't get to that. Well, we will get to that, but I hope we won't. Simply because you speak for the people. Which people? Nobody likes that. For reference, everybody, Dalek Oswin was the first appearance of Clara. As a Dalek. Because Daleks apparently turn people into Daleks? That's not how that works. That's what the Cybermen do, not the Daleks. Oh yeah, the Heavy Weapons Dalek. Lewis has pointed out the Heavy Weapons Dalek. That exists. Remembrance of the Daleks was a time. A time I haven't seen, but I really want to. There are lots and lots and lots and lots of different types of Daleks, which I did not include in our in my list because, you know, I wanted to keep it relatively simple. Sometimes there's a variation that's important, like the Cyber King is not a Cyberman; it's a giant mech. The Cybermats are not Cybermen; they're little scurrying guys. The Cyber Controller, yeah, that's just a Cyberman. It's just got a big hat, you know? So with the Daleks, there's lots of variations of Daleks I did not include because it's mostly just Daleks. For this one, I'm going black and gold, because I like black and gold Dalek. Also, for some reason, just a random, everyone's sharing fun Dalek gifs. They're having fun. Wee woo. Look at them go. Woo. The Eccleston Dalek scared 6-year-old Lewis, so he had to stop watching that series of Doctor Who. The Daleks were scary. They were known as being scary. I personally have never been scared of them. They were my first Doctor Who villain in the form of the Day of the Daleks, which is a third Doctor episode that's not great, but it exists. Introduced young Crispy to time travel, and I've never been the same again. Cried over the Eccleston era Dalek. So yeah, this is the thing I wanted to talk about with, like, where do I put the Daleks? Because I've never cared for the Daleks specifically. But the Day of the Daleks holds a very strong place in my heart. The second Peter Cushing film, The Dalek Invasion of Earth 2150 AD, also holds a special place in my heart. And the Series 1 episode Dalek is a friggin' masterpiece. Every other appearance of the Daleks is pointless. I've not seen Genesis of the Daleks. I know that's also apparently a classic and I should watch it. But just like they appear in every series and there's no point. If you don't have a good idea, what's the point? Dalek was a good idea. They haven't had one since. They're icons, yeah, they sell, I guess. Mama Dalek and her Dalekling. Dalekling? Imagines all these Daleks in primary colours, hell yeah. Where would you put Oswin, the most important Dalek? Does the alphabet keep going? Can we get to Z? Oh no, we should go to X, shouldn't we? Eggs. Reference. Exterminate with Mama. I made a callback to an episode I don't like. Your brother was terrified of them as a wee lad. They're good, they're effective, because they're alien and weird and like, what the hell are they? And that's why I like their design. Like, their design is good. Because it's so odd. Okay, to be fair, that was a good Dalek episode, but mainly because it had Missy in it. It was more of a Davros episode, really. Davros, Missy, Doctor, and Clara gets pushed down holes and stabbed with sticks. I don't hate Clara. It's just funny. Judge them based on the fondness in my heart and nostalgia win. Yeah, they zap with the sea people skeletons, right? Only sometimes. In classic Who, they would just invert the image. In the films, with, or at least in the second one, with the non-canon but also kind of canon films, with Peter Cushing as Doctor Who, they don't actually have lasers at all. They have fire extinguishers in their nozzles. So they just kill you by fire extinguisher. It's so weird. But also lasers. Oh, the World War II Dalek, the Ironsides, yes. That's also an episode we don't really talk about, and written by Mark Gatiss. I'm fond of them. I'm fond of them, but they just, like, I really need to reiterate. I'm gonna put them there. I do need to reiterate. They've had, like, 3 good episodes. And they've been in 50. They're good lads. They're good lads. They were literally in the second ever episode of the show, and they changed the course of it from there. Did you know when Doctor Who first started, it was a family show. It was a show aimed at families, and by families they meant the entire family, not just kids. And as a consequence, part of their remit was, okay, we can do science fiction episodes set in space, things like that, then we can learn about science, that's good, teach kids about science. We could also go and do historical stories where we go back and learn about places in history and ancient civilizations and things like that, famous people. And then the second episode was about these things, as a replacement for an idea that didn't go well. And they went, oh right, monsters, we'll just do that. Gotta go figure out dinner. Go have dinner. Enjoy dinner. Have a lovely dinner. So yeah, the Daleks basically dictated what Doctor Who was from that point on. just completely changed the trajectory of the show from a sort of semi-educational thing to what if monsters. And if they hadn't done that, I would not be doing this tier list right now. So there you go. Good job, Daleks. I was very tempted to put you down low because of the sheer amount of crap you've been in, but when you're good, you're good. That junk Dalek from the New Year's special. There's Rusty. Not Rusty. Rusty? Rusty. One squid Dalek climbed on a lady's back and built a Dalek. I don't remember that. Oh, if it's the New Year's special, I haven't watched those. I know there was some stuff with the 13th Doctor. With Daleks. So that sounds fun. Got that to look forward to. But yeah, lots and lots of types of Dalek. Sometimes they're good. Mostly they're not. But that's fine. It's fine. Moving on. Big into things that are sometimes not good. The Autons. Classic. What am I doing? So what if I just try and draw completely different to the way I normally do? Some reason I started, some reason me saying, oh, it started out as a family show to teach people about history and science, your brain like, why not DM a Doctor Who campaign and knowing 3 things about Doctor Who lore? Honestly, that's what most of the showrunners have been doing recently, so you go right ahead. I will not stop you, I will engage and have a great time. And frankly, I kind of think that's what they should do. Most Doctor Who lore should be ignored. Really should. We should not be beholden to an idea that just some random guy thought was fun 20 years ago. It's Doctor Who. Don't take it seriously. The Autons. So the Autons are, we have already talked about the Nestine consciousness. A giant squid consciousness that came from space. And is looking for a body, and one of the ways it attempted to get a body was plastic. It can control plastic. And in controlling plastic, it decided that it wanted to try and look like the dominant life form on the planet and blend in by being plastic people, i.e. mannequins. Speaking of episodes that scared people... the Spearhead from Space, 1970, first John Pertwee episode, first episode in colour, had shop mannequins bursting out of shops, smashing windows and killing people. Sometimes they have mouths, sometimes they don't. I'm gonna go without. They were also brought back, of course, for the inaugural episode of the reboot, Rose, in which they did exactly the same thing. They burst out of shop windows and killed people. They have guns in their hands for reasons. Plastic person with a metal gun built in hand. Don't think about it. I think it's a really cool vibe that it's just like, oh, is their finger a gun? Are they going to shoot bullets out of their finger? No, the fingers just sort of flop down and then there's a gun in there. There is an official Doctor Who RPG game, there is indeed. Where you too can be an incarnation of the Doctor, because canonically, there are basically infinitely many of them. I would love to play a companion who just does not want to be there. I want to be a Tegan. I want to be a Turlo. I think that would be fun. You want to be Rory? Oh no! What are the rules on resurrection? Imagine if any official tie-in game was good. Yeah, as somebody who loves Doctor Who, I'm never playing a Doctor Who game on stream. Video game, I should say. Because... they're bad. Do you remember that picture I showed you of the horrible no-face person? Autons come in many flavors, and some of them look like that. There's a cliffhanger on the end in one of the episodes of not Spearhead from Space, the first episode of the following series, which also introduced the Master Terror of the Autons. And that has the thing of like somebody's driving a car and they're like, hang on, this car isn't going where we thought it was going to go. Excuse me, driver, can I see your license? And he turns around and then pulls off his face and it's just a blank plastic thing. And it was scary. Scary. What? What's going on? Step 1, get cocked, maybe. Step 2, die. Step 3, repeat. Step 1, you get cocked, maybe. Step 2, die. Step 3, repeat. Ooh, I'm worried. I'm worried. But yeah, mannequins coming to life. Turns out, scary. And they actually integrate it into the episode. Believe it or not, unlike the first, unlike Rose, where it was kind of just used because it worked last time. The episode is kind of all about like, I'm talking about Spearhead from Space, the original one. The episode's all about like investigating plastics manufactories and how the Autons gather plastics and get sort of leverage in the company, and it's kind of interesting. It's interesting sort of how much deeper that episode goes than you might expect it to. Because like, oh, scary plastic thing, break glass, kill people. It's more about their very slow like invasion. It's unfair to compare it to Rose because that was all about introducing the Doctor again and Rose and the whole world of the thing, and like, yeah, have a simple monster. Keep it straightforward. I like the Autons. I really like the Autons. I think they're really cool. They're really cool. They're legitimately creepy. They do, you know, if you're a kid and you watch an episode with an Auton, you're going to come away looking in shop windows going, ugh. And that's always good. They've also not outstayed their welcome. They've been in 3 episodes. And that's good enough. That all those episodes were good. So, with the possible exception of Wheelie Bin Mickey. We don't talk about Plastic Mickey. Yeah, I like the Autons. They're very good. Some of my favourites. Yeah. Yeah. As a classic monsters go, they're really up there. Very simple premise. Thoroughly explored. We move on. That's what it should be. Pizza. Okay, when I said all those episodes were good, oh dear. There was an animated series in 2005. I have no memory of this. What is this? What is this? Did I make this? I made this. I apologize. Maybe you'll do a little Doctor Who campaign after the summer because you believe Soil was going to be gone the whole semester, so Crooked Moon will be on pause anyway. Ooh, exciting. Honestly, just have fun. That's what That's what Doctor Who's all about. Come up with fun ideas and go, ooh, what if silly? What if, ooh, that's a fun idea for a monster. Ooh, spacey, timey-wimey stuff. Speaking of spacey, timey-wimey stuff and absolute nonsense, what if... Why are you in this list?
The first rule of Doctor Who is to have fun and be yourself.
Exactly. And also maybe be several other people and also be dead. And be alive at the same time. Sorry, I got this confused. Fear Her is not the episode with Feed Me, it's a different one. It's a worse one. So this is relatively easy to do, I think. Sorted. Fear Her is an episode we tend not to talk about for a variety of reasons, but the general premise is kind of interesting. What if a creature fell to Earth and needed to get back, but while it was here had the ability to manifest imaginations, fears? Yeah, when the Doctor gets attacked by a scribble. So basically it sort of leeches off the imagination of a small child who has is in a family that's having issues. In particular, her father is not very nice. And that is Mr. Webber. Gonna head out, have a lovely miss. Don't worry, we're getting to the dregs now. Have a great time. Go get cheese. Kind of like that episode from Nostalgia, probably, but shout out to the London 2012 Olympics. Yeah, the episode, it's an odd mix of things. Because the premise is kind of neat, of this idea of, like, manifesting a child's fear. And doing so via, like, this monstrous form of her father that she has imagined in her head. Sort of becoming manifest. But also it's about a small alien that needs fire to get back to space, and it just so happens that the Olympic torch is going to be running by because it's 2012 and the Olympics are happening. So the Doctor uses the torch to light the thing, and then that lets the space thing go back into space. Also something to do with roadworks, I can't remember. It's also child actors. I don't know, it's like, there's something there. You know, you could legitimately make like a good creepy episode about kids' nightmares coming real. They've tried several times. It's failed several times. The tar in the roadworks was the hottest thing in the area, so it crashes there. Oh, I see, right. Roadworks, I sure hope it does. But yeah, the idea of the villain of a episode being a child's scared child's view of an abusive father is an idea that could really go places and doesn't. So I guess we have a tier for that, don't we? We have a tier for things that could go places and don't. But I don't think it's that good. I don't think it's that good of an idea, so I'm going to make it a bit smaller. But yeah, you go C, it's fine. Like, your episode is below a C, but that idea is a C. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Also, they had to take that episode off the air. Or off the BBC iPlayer for a while, and then had to redub parts of it and put it back up because there was a news reporter in that episode reporting on the entire end sequence of the Doctor running with the Olympic flame, and that news reporter has subsequently turned out to be a real piece of work, so they had to redub with a different actor like 15 years later. Isn't it fun? Speaking of things that are fun, couple more. The Slitheen! Oh, since we're talking about early Russell T Davies, why not? What do they look like? Farty Abliums just looked up and he got, oh, welcome to the Slitheen. The Slitheen are a family of aliens, the race of which is called the Araxacolocophalapatorians. And obviously, Kid Me decided to memorize that. They got ears? I don't think they got ears. I think I'm fairly spot on with this so far. Got big old long necks. If you throw vinegar on them, they explode. Featuring an alien. Oh, and it's Moon Clom, featuring an alien played by Peter Kay. Yes, the Absorbaloff is in the list. We will get to it. An episode featuring concrete fellatio. But not this one. This one, or this two-parter, three-parter? I guess it was technically a two-parter followed by a separate episode. Was basically a standard, like, oh, alien invasion kind of thing. Aliens have come, they've taken over politicians' bodies, and are trying to take over the world or cause a nuclear war or something? I don't remember the plot, I'll be perfectly honest. I don't know why this one's tiptoeing, but it is. But yeah, it's like an evil family. They wanted to take over the world or destroy it or something or other. And I think destroy it. And yeah, the Doctor stops them. But then, and this is, I think, is the oddest turn that the first series actually ever took. It had a two-parter about these aliens trying to destroy the world. And the Doctor stops them. And then he goes off and does a bunch of other stuff. And then right before the end of the series, we come back to one of them that was left over. That's just kind of doing another evil plot. But the episode is almost entirely just a conversation between, like, there's some comedy hijinks and some stuff to do with, like, blowing up Cardiff. But essentially it's like a one-on-one with the Doctor and this villain in human form. And it's kind of cool. It's like one of my, like, looking back, that's one of my favorite episodes from that series. Like, Dalek's the best, but I don't know. There's just this really cool episode of, like, the Doctor and this alien trying to sort of talk it out and work out, why are you doing this? How can I help? How can I stop you? Is there anything I can do to, you know, like, take you back home? Oh no, you can't go back home because they'll kill you. Like, what do we do? And I don't know. It's really weird that there was just, it's the bottle episode. It's the cheap episode, as you have in these sorts of things. But it was just really well done. I don't know. One of the extras, a unit scientist, goes on to be a main cast member of Torchwood. Well, there you go. This alien is kind of Kezu, if you draw a cute style without all the teeth. Kezu? Bless you. Monster Hunter. Also with eyes and hands. And less wings. But I get what you mean. The long neck is the noodle neck, yeah. And you're forgetting that the not neck part of Kezu is just a dragon. So then also, sadly, some Prime making fun of larger people from Doctor. Yes, so this was again 2005. So we're definitely in the early 2000s. We're using gay as an insult, etc. But this episode is like these Slitheen inhabiting people's bodies. They're using them literally as bodysuits. Because they are emitting gases as an alien species, they're farting a lot, and also they happen to be inhabiting the bodies of some larger people. And this is used for laughs. Because 2005. Not aged well. I do not like, I'll be perfectly honest, the two-part. I like Boomtown. Boomtown's good. This wonderful little bottle episode was showing sort of like humanity and the Doctor sort of having a conversation with someone rather than declaring, I'm gonna stop you, I'm gonna save the world, you can't do this, etc. Just like, don't know. The one upside, Boomtown. But Slitheen themselves, the family Slitheen, I'm not blanketing all Raxacolico-Phalapatorians in on this one. But the family Slitheen as a whole, they tried something new. They wanted to try something new. First new series that for 17 years they wanted to try something new. This was their big, best foot forward. Didn't really land. Didn't go anywhere. It also contained Harriet Jones MP for Flydale North. And we know who she is. So, I don't know. I kind of admire them for swinging. Swing for the fences and all that. They did try. Boomtown's good, but honestly that could have just been anything. Because the episode was mostly with the human form. They explode when you throw vinegar on them for reasons I don't understand. I don't know, I'm torn. I like Boomtown, but I really don't like Aliens of London or whatever it's called. Well, then we go C then. We keep the normal distribution going. Look at this classic normal distribution. You want to know what the normal distribution looks like? It looks like that. So normal. It looks like somebody with a very long nose. Going... Mwah. Slitheen also came back a few times in the Sarah Jane adventures, so they kind of worked okay as a generic monster baddie we can fit in. Yeah, it would work as a good kid monster. I think kids would get along with it, so that's fair. It's a sample, it's normal-ish. Kith. Okay, one more before we call it an evening. And who's it gonna be? How normal are they gonna be? Obviously, so normal, we haven't found that one. Oh, it's all the not things. Oh, Miss isn't here. Oh. My best attempt at a David Tennant. Did they ever explain why, when Jodie Whittaker regenerated into David Tennant, the clothes changed? I know the answer to that's no, they didn't explain anything from that era. But that's fine. Explanation: blind acceptance. Exactly. The RTD2 way. I've just realised why it's hard to say RTD2, because there's R2D2. RTD2 referring to Russell T Davies's second run as the showrunner. He's got like stubble in this incarnation, but I can't really represent that. It's the Not Things. The Not Things are from an episode from the specials, 60th anniversary specials, even though they had absolutely nothing to do with the anniversary, just happened to be episodes. They're from the middle special episode, The Wild Blue Yonder. And they are from outside of space. They're from beyond the edge of space. And they don't know what things are, because they're not things. So they're trying to understand what things are. And by trying to understand, they sort of mimic it. So we have space mimics, essentially. And they get some things wrong. They don't quite understand things like, object permanence and size. And stuff like that. And so they might end up getting the arms a bit long. And that was the line from the episode that people liked. My arms are too long. Legitimately creepy introduction, which is spoiled by some very silly CGI. Because it does this wonderful thing in the episode of like the two of them split up and then they go into the room where the other one is and start a conversation, but they both do that. So you end up with two conversations happening at the same time between the same pair of people, and you're like, something's up here. Huh? It's played very well. It's played very well. And I think Catherine Tate has a big foot. Now, am I a huge fan of the idea of discrimination based on different body shapes? Not really. Do I think that was their intention? No. Do I think that might be an effect? Maybe. But space mimics. I like the idea. I'm a big fan of ideas that are a bit, metaphysical, a bit beyond the confines of normal reality and stuff like that. And so the idea of something that isn't a thing, something that doesn't conform to our laws of physics, trying to understand our laws of physics is interesting. Do I think this execution was great? Not particularly. Is it the best thing to come out of Russell T Davies's second attempt at Doctor Who? Yes. Is it also essentially a kind of thematic retread of the Boneless?
Average Yarra hands.
Average Yarra hands. Indeed. The bar is low here, yeah. This is not getting the S. The hands, the arms are too big. It's the not things. I'd also want to point out, I was listening to a podcast today while baking, and it was about cryptids. An Australian were talking about cryptids, and apparently there is a cryptid in Australia called the Yowie. And this came off of a conversation about the Yeti, and thus when introduced to the Yowie, the host said, "Oh yeah, you have your own abominable men." And now I just connect Yowie and abominable men together. Oh, why? In Australian, talking about cryptids, never heard of such a thing. Yes, they also went to talk about, you know, the drop bears and the, what's the one with the lovely name? Bunyip. Bunyips. Yeah, we made them into chocolates as well. Yes, that was also mentioned. What did I bake? I baked some stuff. Hang on, I will show pictures. Some things worked well, some things did not. Wednesday morning is my baking day normally, but it's been too hot recently. Today has been the first for a while. And baked some bread. I did more than this, but people ate it before I could take photos. Some Chelsea buns that did not turn out the way I expected them to. But they're kind of nice. And that's I ate one of these. This is one of Bear's Jaffa buns, Big Jaffa muffins. They're very good, made with prime bear marmalade. Tastes literally like a Jaffa cake. Brilliant. Very tasty. Anyway, I was thinking of doing like a big old picture showing all of the things I baked over the course of the year at the end of the year, and then I look through and it's like it'll just be brown. There's just so much brown. Give me bread. I bought bread on holiday and nobody but Bear ate it. But I will give you bread. I will make you bread next time we are together. Delicious brown. It's good brown. I'm on a quest. I'm on a bloody quest. I will eventually get, because hang on, let me show you. I have made so many like cinnamon roll recipes and things like that. Chelsea buns, etc. And none of them have ever turned out the way I want. And that is my quest, is to try and get these things bloody right. I can do a lot of other stuff. I can make bread, I could do pancakes, I could do tarts, I can do all sorts of things, cakes. Bloody cinnamon rolls and buns and stuff. Like the bread, you made excellent garlic bread. Yeah, I'm glad. I did, yeah. But don't worry, I can make you more. It's also not really bread. We talked about this when I made it this morning. It's kind of bread, but it's also kind of like a scone. What goes wrong with them? They don't rise properly, they go hard on the outside, they don't puff up. They should be like big and soft and squishy, and they're not. They're hard and compact. And I keep changing up things in the recipe and trying to make them rise better and not dry out. You missed the crisp bread. Oh, that's fine. It was a hectic time trying to get there. So don't worry about it. It's all good. I will make you bread. I'll make anyone bread. Yeah, it's not sandwich bread, it soaks up butter. Yeah, just have it with butter. It's brilliant with butter. Like a scone. That's why I keep refer to it as a scone. I also made an omelette because the recipes for the Chelsea buns and the bread required, specified leaving half an egg for glaze. So I ended up with basically just a whole egg spare, and I was like, making an omelette out of that. Bread. I've made quite a few different types of bread. They've generally gone well. But I like those because they're like scones. Anyway, the not things. They don't understand what baking is. Yeah, I guess I can put it on par with the boneless, because the boneless were like two-dimensional creatures trying to understand three dimensions. These are not physical creatures trying to understand physics. Basically the same idea. I think as an episode, it works better, at least up until the bad CG. And there's some wonderful character moments, because these things are sort of pretending to be other people, and there's some emotional vulnerability going on, and like there's interesting character play in this episode that is not the case in Flatline. So I guess I can put them high. I'm gonna put you up there. No, you're gonna with the darlings. No, not that good. Slightly high. You're gonna go there. Just a solid B. Not darlings. have to try and make cinnamon buns so you can struggle with me. It's fine. If I really, really wanted to get the hang of it, I'll just ask Bet. But I think I just need better yeast. I need better yeast, and I need to know how to control that yeast properly. Hi, Kiro. How you doing? I don't know what you missed. So let's go over the ones that we've done today. We have the Autons right up the top there, just underneath the Master, which is where he would like them to be. We have the Daleks. They're now finally there. They're in between A and B. We got Syl and the Not Things solidly in B. We added the Jadoon, the Mara, that guy, and the Slitheen in a nice central C position. 2 Sutex for the price of 1. 2-tech. Solidly in D. The Sycorax and the Wire. Not very successful attempts at making something creepy from the early reboot. And then we get down into the sort of Dreg tier where we have Harmony Shoal, who I honestly can't remember what they do. The Smilers, I can't remember what they do. The Christmas things, they don't really do much. And then the giant Cyberman robot mech that was destroying London. I can't believe if you would have told me there's an episode of Doctor Who where a giant cyber mech destroys Victorian London, and you're going to put it in F tier. How does that happen? The orphan-powered robot. Literally true. Cinnamon Bun Group Project. Okay, if it's a group project, that's fine. We could do that. New Doctor Who villain, the Garlex. But we haven't drawn the Vampires of Venice yet, have we? So, vampires. They're not vampires, they're fish. But, is orphan power renewable? Oh yes, there's always more orphans. Sorry, I was channeling... This is going to be a very specific reference. I was channeling a character from Alistair Beckett King's Who Did It? Which was a series of little videos he did over the COVID lockdown. An interactive whodunit. And he has a character who is researching orphans. They're fascinating things. But anyway, that's some more Who. Some more Who added to the list. Much more to go, which we will be doing intermittently over the course of the next 7 years. All the talk of children power is bringing up Torchwood memories. Children of Earth scarred us. I've heard things about Children of Earth, particularly things to do with Peter Capaldi's character. There's some stuff going on there. You when you am an owl. Ooh. Ooh. But yeah, I hope you had a nice time chilling and chatting and hooing and throwing. That'll be all for me. Kerswoomsh. There we are. Stream will return. F is the cool guy tier. Nothing but party animals. Yes, 2 blobs on the ceiling, a pterodactyl, and a giant robot. Which, again, to be fair, sounds good. How could you mess that up? You did, yeah. So in Children of Earth, you don't remember Children Power. Children Power talk reminds you more of the Venture Bow. Well, the children is a whole thing in Children of Earth. Might have blocked out Children Power? You very well might have. Again, I don't actually know the plot, but I know it's dark. There's definitely a party. Yeah. But yeah, stream will return on Saturday with the continued adventures of Grim Hollow. All being well, we should have a full cast, I believe. Or is Kira doing something? Can't remember.
Diagnosis, language.
Oh no, I have been diagnosed with not stopping talking.
You can't be a heterosexual and be in a relationship with Miss Piggy. It just doesn't work, Chibi.
It just doesn't work, Chibi. Come on.
A wibbly wobbly shenanigan time with Donkey Kong.
I mean the robot. Oh, that's King Kong, isn't it? Not Donkey Kong. No.
I don't know if that's good, But I think.
I think. Therefore I am. I yammer on. It's on theme, yeah. Doctor Who. I don't know if it's good, but yeah. Hope you had a nice. Oh yeah, more facts in case you missed it last time. I added 47 new facts to the carousel. Not particularly important or relevant. I just felt like it needed a bit of a refresh. Yeah, Stream comes back with Grim Hollow on Saturday, and then on Sunday, can't really say that particularly strangely, Doodles with friends. Tomorrow, I'm reliably informed, is Thursday, because time is an illusion. And in that, we will be having more cheap times with cowboys going pew pew. And yeehaw, partner. That's basically it, I think. I'm pretty sure that's the whole game. But yeah. Have a lovely. Yeah. Everybody have a good. Look after yourselves. I have not got music prepared, which is why that suddenly went like that. Ooh. The program did not like what I just did to it. Ooh, that's strange. You can't see this, but it's being weird. It's being very strange. Oh well, bye.